Joining us now is Senate Armed Services Committee member, Senator Deb Fischer, and from the other side of the aisle, Senate Foreign Relations Committee member, Senator Tim Kaine. Great to have both of you with us at the forum.
Thank you, Shane.
Nice to be here.
So let's talk with Venezuela. It's getting all of the headlines. One of your colleagues, Senator Jack Reed, said this: the Department of Defense has no choice but to release the complete unedited footage of the September 2nd strike, as the president has agreed to do. Have either of you seen it? How important do you think it is that the American people see it?
I haven't seen it, but I think it should be released. Those who have described it to me. I think all committee members, all senators, and the public should see it, as President Trump said.
I have not seen it yet. I know that Chairman Wicker is considering having the entire Armed Services Committee be able to review it and ask questions, and I look forward to getting facts.
So the people who've seen it and have come out of the briefing had very different takes. We're going to play a couple of members from opposite sides of the aisle about what they saw.
Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. Bad guys, but attacking shipwrecked sailors.
I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight. And potentially, given all the context we heard, of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid to recover their cargo and recover those narco-terrorists.
Is this going to be anything more than sort of a partisan Rorschach test? I mean, how you see what you saw?
Well, it sounds like it, that's the direction we're headed right now, and that's why I think it's important that we do have the facts. But as we heard this morning here at Reagan, when the survey results were put forward, the people in this country strongly support President Trump in controlling drugs coming into this country. They are strongly supporting the United States stepping up and doing these strikes. We have seen more Americans die in the last 7 years than the Americans that were lost in World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined. This is a horrible situation that we're in this country. The president promised he would take action, and that's what he's doing.
So I know that some of the action concerns you. You've got a war powers resolution that's privileged, by the way, that
Yes.
you may offer up, saying this is, if we're going to call this a war, we'll reach certain guideposts.
Right.
Congress has to get involved. It's privileged. Will you force it to the floor?
I will. Likely a week from Monday is when it becomes available. Shannon, what I think about this is huge questions have been raised about the legality of this operation, and not just from Democrats, but there was a forced resignation of the Southern Command commander. There was the Southern Command legal advisor who said, raised real questions about legality. The UK has stopped sharing intel with the United States over questions about legality. But get this, 90 plus days, nearly 90 people killed and 24 strikes. There hasn't been a single public hearing held by either the Armed Services Committee or the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I have a lot of questions, but it's all based on classified information that I can't even describe to you or to the American public. Why not let the committees actually have public hearing about the legality, about the strategy, about the targeting criterion, so the American public can be informed and make their minds up about whether this is a good idea?
So you reference classified briefings. There have been briefings for lawmakers. Do you, Senator Fischer, think you've gotten enough information about what's going on?
More information is always available, and that's what we need to do. But I would counter that I think it's important that we continue to have classified briefings. That's why I think it's important for the Armed Services Committee, and Tim is also a member of that committee, that we have the opportunity to have classified briefings. There's reasons for that, and it's methods. It's personnel on how this information is given to the United States, how we know these boats are there, where they come from, who's involved, and the certainty involved in that from that information allows the military then to make these strategic strikes. We have to be able to protect those sources and the methods that we have.
I don't disagree with Deb. It's very important that we have classified hearings. But again, to be 90 plus days into something that the president has said is a war, where people are being killed, where there's huge questions being raised about legality, and not have had a single public hearing in either the Foreign Relations or Armed Services Committee. It's time that we do that so that the American public can be read in and all members get a chance. I mean, we haven't seen the videos yet. We need to see them too.
want to talk about the other big foreign policy headline, of course, is Russia-Ukraine. Talks continue through this weekend. Knowing where we're at right now, I want to ask you both, do you have confidence that Putin actually wants peace at this point? Yes or no?
No, I don't believe he does. And I don't think many of the European nations that border Russia that know his behavior very well, not just Ukraine, but Finland and Sweden and others, Poland, which had to, put its air defenses on alert last night because of Russian drone incursions. They don't see Putin as really wanting peace. I hope that's wrong, but that is my conclusion as of right now.
Do you hold out hope that he's actually trying to get to a finish line of peace?
No. I don't believe he is looking for peace. It's a stalling tactic that he continues to have. I support the resolution by Senator Graham to increase sanctions, to bring Russia to the table, to force them to come to the table. I thank the administration for stepping forward and trying to work out a peace that is fair for Ukraine. We have to remember Russia is the aggressor here. They invaded a sovereign country. They have taken land from a sovereign nation. That has to be always at the forefront of our mind as we move forward, trying to find a peaceful reconciliation here of what's happening in Ukraine.
Are you confident if that sanctions package passes, that will actually bring this about? Because there are a lot of sanctions on Russia now. This goes more broadly after people are also doing business with Russia. Is this the thing that could bring it to an end? Do you both have confidence in that?
I think it'll get their attention.
Right.
I think we'll get the attention of other countries who are doing that business with Russia, realizing that they are held responsible by the United States as well.
When you ask, are we confident that this will be the ingredient? I think we wouldn't say that, but it will get the attention. The Russian economy is suffering, but going after those who continue to do business with Russia, even despite its aggression, and Deb and I agree on this completely, that will be a significant additional element. It's a bipartisan bill, Senator Graham and Senator Blumenthal, and I think we're both co-sponsors of it. Mm-hmm.
Well, very few things get that level of support in the Senate, that level of bipartisan support. So we'll see as that moves. So here at the Defense Forum, they do a survey every year. This year, China is still identified as the #1 foreign policy threat to the U.S. Do you both agree on that? And do you think it's more of a military threat or economic threat, or the combination?
I think it's a combination, but what we've seen in the last half dozen years or so are really the breathtaking advancements militarily when it comes to China, especially with their nuclear triad and their development on their platforms and also their weapons. They have become a peer competitor and adversary for us, and that is not good.
And one of the things at this forum is, economic threats and military threats are not necessarily separate. The theft of intellectual property around critical technologies that enable us to defend ourselves and defend our allies, those threats start to blend together. And that's why China is our #1 competitor and adversary right now and for decades to come, I believe.
And we'll end there on a bipartisan note. Senator Kaine, Senator Fischer, thank you both for your time. Great to see you both.
Thank you.